Sup, everyone? You are tuned in to the channel Eps. I'm your host, EEPMON, because there are none other. Episode 98. And today, I like to do a short video about when are you going to get a real job? You heard me right. Now, I am sure I'm not the only one. Us fellow artists and creators have been told many a times this, or asked many times this question. Bit cringy, another pet peeve of mine, because I like to think the majority of those asking are the voices of the Matrix world, the complacency world, the perceived safety world, the world of being secure and whatnot, but really, we know it's all a facade. But yeah, my response is clearly, look, like, art is my job. But I don't even call it a job. Art is a way of life. It's my way of life. And this is what my career is. If you want to call it a career also, okay? You see, art for me is such a... you cannot define it as a career. You cannot define it as a hobby. You cannot define it as something that is distinct like any other industry. Either a scientist or you're a lawyer or you're in finance, blah blah blah, right? We artists feel a very abstract gamut, the spectrum, because creativity is boundless. It's freedom. So as I mentioned many times, we have the toughest gigs in the game. Because not only are we creating because it compels us, we are compelled. There's something in us that want to express, to create, and whatever that may be. Whether you have something to advocate, something to speak about, what a social cause, a non-social cause, just because you feel like it. Like, you see how wide the topics can range. And at the same time, we need to communicate this to society. And if society, I guess, likes or appreciates and understands where we're coming from, then we get a gig, we get paid, we get commissioned. I don't know. We create art, we sell it at an art gallery. Like that's hard, right? That's really tough. So, if I look at from the other vantage point, an artist is a huge question. It's a big question mark, right? It's like, how do you sustain yourself as creators in this increasingly volatile world? That's why I think that we creators and artists, I know maybe some of you may not like this word, but we are entrepreneurs. We are creative entrepreneurs. And we have to be. So sometimes I say, well, I'm a digital artist / creative entrepreneur. Maybe you might not know what digital artist is, but they might know what an entrepreneur is. But I'm getting back to point. An artist, for me, it's a way of life. Okay. Not only is art defined based on sitting down, whether you have a canvas, paint, like a tablet, stylus, computer computer screen. Um, um, we are living and breathing it. We creators must live and breathe it. It's part of our day to day. Whether we walk out, we travel, experiencing through our lenses, through our senses. Art making is one thing, but like our our trajectory, our path, where we go, who we meet, who our influences, all shape up to be who we are, and also influences how we create. Um, so it's really, so it is kind of a gray area. I get it. I get it. But one thing is for sure, despite the noise that I'm constantly bombarded, especially those who think they know better of what is best for me, folks, I endured it for the past like decades and plus, and I just stuck to my own lane, continued my path, did things that I'm sure most people would question my motives. What is the point? Why did you go there? How did that do for you? You traveled to New York. You lived there. How did it do for you? When are you going to get a real job? I'm worried about you so much, blah, 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 because, you're not making as much as, people who are working in like 6-digit plus salaries and etc. It's a lot of pressure on us, right? Because these society sort of notions and norms have these sort of expectations how to live in a civil society and pay our bills and be stressed out and watch Netflix all the time. And I hate on Netflix. I'm just saying that as I continued my trajectory, I also realized and noticed the patterns at play that are cyclical in our day-to-day lives in society. I started to notice these things, and I got also start to, every year as I continued on, I got stronger and stronger, I guess, had a thicker skin, really being able to endure the external, as I mentioned, the external factors and noise. And I got to know more about myself. I got to know more my potential, my drive, my passions, and and getting better and better at navigating through the volatility of our industry. So much so that honestly, I don't see the word volatility, uncertainty, or the word unknown as a negative thing. I don't see, I don't there's no negative connotations for me with those words. In fact, I understand that for those starting out and creators, these words we're gonna scare the living heck out of you guys, right? It's just anxieties, it's all these, because I think our system, the current capitalist system, has been designed in a way to keep us obedient, keep us in check, keep us, it's like the hamster wheel. Feed us enough and we will, we can live modestly, happy, a sense of pride, and being a bit of being proud of what we are able to, um, own in our own little way. Just feed us enough and we will be obedient. So I noticed these patterns, Now, that's just my observation. You may agree, you may disagree, but whatever. This is the channel E's. I say whatever I want. Yeah. um, but yeah, so like I got to know more myself. I got to know more how these patterns are happening, right? Like what runs society, what runs the economy. We got birthdays, we've got Valentine's Day, we got Easter, we got Christmas, all this. It's over and over. So there's just these things that keep us in this hamster wheel, and but then I'm digressing a bit, but I actually enjoy I enjoy the fact that I am living a volatile. I'm living in day to day is volatile. Day to day is uncertain, I totally embrace it. I embrace the unknowns. And it's so much so that I need to have that in my life. I need the volatility, because if everything becomes like day in day out, life would get so boring. Ugh, like boring. And if I catch myself in this mode, then I'm like, watch out. Watch out, because nothing, I learned this, nothing ever lasts forever. Nothing. You get complacent, you get on that hamster wheel, you be part of that same old every day, day in, day out. And one day, when something black swan event occurs in your routine, you will not be prepared for it, because you're so used to the system. So as an artist, I found that very like I noticed this. I noticed these patterns. Like, wow, okay. And how do I? Whoa! Look at this! Look at the thumbs up. Crazy. So how do I? What do I do? So being understandably, I have to carve my own niche. I have to be my own creative entrepreneur. I have to navigate through this volatile world, as I mentioned. So I became more, how do I say, more smart. Work smarter, not harder. Be smart with my finances. Be smart with my money. Knowing when to indulge once in a while, but also know how to be frugal. Know how to be financially, sound by budgeting. And of course, it's difficult because, there's people who always want to ask you to go out and have dinners and go this and go that. But I was so passionate in my artwork anyway. So most of the time I'm just like doing my work and just craft my own stuff. But, like I did. So going my own, navigating my own world, I became very good at budgeting myself. And I learned how to cook very well. I love cooking. I love cooking now because, like, of course, cooking saves a lot of money. But cooking, for me, is also very meditative. And the satisfaction knowing that I've cooked my own meal, right, is 100 times more satisfying than just going out to a restaurant, paying exuberant amount of fees that most of the time the quality and service is absolute crap. Especially now, post-pandemic, everything's gone down the toilet, man. So I got to know more about my potential, my intuition. And there's something, intuition is something that I also evolved through doing my own thing, my own job, my own, career as a creative entrepreneur. And again, people won't understand that because all they're thinking is when I'm going to get a real job. But into their eyes, their real job is like your real job is like you're stuck in this matrix. Like that's your real job. No. Like my world as an artist, we are meant to be observers of the world. But yeah, so looking back, I have no regrets. I have absolutely no regrets. I have learned more about myself, learned more about my skills, my potential, work harder. Sorry, work smarter, not harder. Um, and those aspects are far superior, far more valuable than when are you going to get a real job and get, a paycheck every 2 weeks. Like, it's job security, folks. Oh, you get a health insurance. I dare say, had I continued, if I went with the route of this so-called job security, I would probably be in worse health shape. I'll be in worse shape. Right? I'll be definitely taking those health insurance things. That's why it was probably created in the first place, because they know that human beings are not supposed to be sitting down every day like how I am right now, even though I'm an artist, but still. So exercise. I have to exercise. I force myself. I start running. I start doing these things. Start going out, going hiking. Been running for 10 years, 10 plus years now. So really, and I think society is starting to realize it. Definitely post pandemic, they realize, oh, wait a second, like, what is this? The things that we're like, either I'm being jaded or I'm watching too much of this YouTube algorithms and feeding me stuff. But like a lot of the millennials and Gen Zs, and they're not having it. They also realize how they feel that the system is rigged against them. It's kind of crazy. So perhaps the when are you going to get a real job has now flipped back to them, back to the conventional corporate world, because the definition of a real job is now in huge question. But what is a real job? What is a job? As an artist, I navigate this world through my lens. I observe. I intuitively navigate through the cycles. Every year is a cycle. And I do see the subtle changes of society pivoting. I dare say that it's getting worse and worse. Like the conditions. Just look at people's faces day to day. People are so anxious. People are always worried that they're going to get jumped. People are just on the edge. The demeanor, like their face, they're complete. They're like, it's really, really difficult. And I think part of the reason is because society has not been educated to handle volatility, change, because we're so conditioned to think that we need a stable job. Stable. Nothing is ever stable. Nothing. We need to learn how to pivot. We have to be dynamic. Embrace uncertainties. Embrace the unknowns. Instead of it being a scary thing and having anxiety, it's an exciting thing. It's an adventure. Right? I tell you, I don't even know what's going to happen in the next 4 months. In my world. I have a hairy goal, a very, very, abstract goal, but like as to distinctively, I don't know. But that's fine. You can allow the universe takes its course. Just go through it. So yeah, anyway, I might be digressing a lot now, but I just thought that I want to talk about this topic of when are you going to get a real job, because really, what does it really mean? What does it really mean? We human beings are doers of whatever we want, however we want, and so as long as you don't like harm another. But yeah, we just have to live life. Anyway, I hope you like what I had to say. Like and subscribe. I think I went a bit on the philosophical route. But anyway, have a great evening. Have a great afternoon. Have a great morning wherever you are in the world. This is the Channel Eves episode 98. I can't believe it's almost 100. Oh my God. I might be doing an interview, like a fireside chat with a buddy of mine. But it'll depend if her schedule lines up with mine. She'll be coming from Toronto tomorrow, actually. So we'll see if it goes down for episode 99. But anywho, I will chat to you guys tomorrow. Have a great night. Bye bye.